Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight it is Open Lines Night. Yes, that's where I converse with you, the audience. You make the show, along with a bunch of weird news, because, yeah, of course, I'll do the World Wide Web of Weird Extended. And, man, I got a ton, so this kind of worked out that I didn't have a guest, because I got a ton of different stories. I might even have extras, I don't know. Well, I don't think I'll get through all of them tonight, because I don't know how late I'm going to go tonight, because I almost didn't make it on. As old listeners of the show know, I've had many problems with this basement flooding where I do this show out of, and, well, right before the show, the whole back drain backed up into the basement. So I've been shop vacuuming my little butt off just so I could get on the show tonight. But we will be fine. We are somewhat dry down here now. And I wanted to do a show. We got a lot of new listeners, I noticed, too. Thank you to Josh Turner from Paranormal Roundtable, friend of the show. I've been on his show. He's been on mine, and he called in last Sunday, and I know I was on in his show he was doing on vampires and werewolves, but man, it's so much deeper than that. And I was in that chat room, and Josh plugged me. Thank you, Josh. I think I've gotten like 150 subscribers. So we might have some new listeners tonight. So welcome to Paranormal Soup. This is Open Lines, an extended World Wide Web of Weird. We got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. No guests tonight. It is a open lines night and a lot of weird news stories called the World Wide Web of Weird. Extended. And yes, might have some new listeners tonight, so welcome to the show. If you're your first time here, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and on Talkstream Live Paranormal Radio app. If you listen, you can listen there. If you're not able to do video, you want to listen. There's also a 24-hour rerun reel that runs on there. That's pretty old. That I really should update. But it's a lot of work. And yeah, I'm a busy man, obviously, right? With a very crappy flooded basement right now. Luckily, the studio I'm in is at the high point. I was smart enough that when I redid my where I put all my equipment, I put it at the high point of the basement, just for these situations, so I could still do a show surrounded by water. It's not that bad. We got most of it cleaned up. Joining me, as always, is my beautiful co-host, Jamie D. How you doing tonight, Jamie? Coming.
Doing well, thank you. And I just wanted to let you know quickly that Mr. Rob just hit us up in chat and says he doesn't have access to the Dropbox files. And
what?
Yeah.
I just sent it to him. Let me send it again.
It says it's locked out, request access, and it shows like a lock. But you can see it in the chat.
Anyone with this link can edit. No password expiration date. Copy link. I'm going to copy him the link again. I'm going to send it to him again. Tell him if he's listening. Sorry, technical difficulties, because Rob usually is great. He'll help me do the World Wide Web of Weird, but he has to have my Dropbox of all the stuff in it. So I just sent it to him again. Try him to try the new link. While we see, hopefully he can get in here too. And of course, also, like I said, open lines tonight means we're going to do phone lines. You call into the show. What does that mean? Well, I just want to talk. I just want to talk about anything strange, weird, and unusual paranormal experiences in particular. I really don't care about politics or what your favorite food is. I mean, that's cool and all. I want to know, have you been experienced? Have you had a paranormal experience? And that can range a lot of different things. A lot of different things. Even if you feel it's a dream that's haunted you. I don't care. You know, I'm all for it. We got to share our stories in that. But we got a lot of weird stories to get to. Hopefully Rob, this link works. I see he sees it. And he can get in here and we can get him working. Otherwise, I do have it up on my end. If you can't get it working, just come join us, Rob. Just please come talk. I'll run the World Wide Web of Weird. At least want you here. I know he's trying to figure that out. But we're already wasting time, so let's go ahead and roll in. Did you say it worked?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying. All right, well, we got a lot to get to in the World Wide Web of Weird, so let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, we got a lot. It's not, usually it's 7 stories and first 25 minutes of the show, and then we have a guest. Tonight it's going to be extended. We're going to take our time with it. For the first part, this first 20 or so minutes, we're going to do stories, go to commercial break. We'll open it up and then open up the phone lines and take calls in between the stories and see how much we get through. But tonight, continuing story in a way, we covered this when it first happened, was the wreck of the Titan. You know, the submarine that went down with the Titanic. Well, now, after all this time, photos have emerged of the wreck. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup radio network, on the Paranormal Radio app, we are a webcast streaming out live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But if you want to listen, I'll narrate as best as possible. All right, let's go ahead and get this up here. I think I got started from Unexplained Mysteries. Let's see. Yeah, if Rob can't get it to work, if you're listening, Rob, just come on in and join the conversation. I can run it. It's not a problem. I'd rather have him here, even if he can't do it. All right, so, and for Rob's sake, he made plans tonight because I was not going to do a show. I'll be honest about this. I was not going to do a show. And Josh Turner is such a great guy. He plugged the show, and I'm like, I don't have a guest, but we could do some open lines. And then all these weird stories. And like this one, it's not weird, it's sad, this one, actually. Wreckage photo and final message of the Titan submersible revealed back in June 18th of 2023. God, it's been that long. The undersea exploration vehicle, which was carrying 5 passengers, including Stockton Rush, CEO of the Ocean Gate Expeditions, which was running the operation, disappeared after embarking on a trip to the wreck of the Titanic, situated 12,500 feet beneath the sea. We all know what happened. Ultimately, though, the discovery of the debris field a few days later confirmed the worst. The submersible had violently imploded, killing all 5 passengers. At recent hearing into the disaster, investigators revealed for the first time actual photographs of the wreckage as well as the crew's final communications. At around 1 hour into the dive, the sub sent the message, "All good here." The last communication was sent from a depth of 3,346 meters, indicated that 2 weights had been dropped. According to the investigators, the hull of the submersible had never been subjected to third-party testing, and the vehicle had been left exposed to the elements while in storage. There was also a history of technical issues over the course of 13 dives between 2021 and 2022, ranging from battery and thruster failures. Dude, he used a game controller to control this thing. Stockton would fight for what he wanted, and even it changed from day to day. He wouldn't give an inch. The former engineer director, Tony Neeson, said most people would eventually back down to Stockton. It was death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah, they imploded. It was probably really quick, at least. But we also covered about a month ago or a few weeks ago, I can't remember, another billionaire is starting up another submersible thing to go down to the Titanic. It's either you get, I guess that's like the thing. You become a multi-billionaire or whatever, and you either build a penis rocket to go into space, take your friends, or you build a submersible and go see the Titanic. It's a thing to do. All right, moving on. All right. I can't play the video from this because this is definitely a copyrighted video from a news agency. But you guys should go watch this. You really should watch it. These influencers. Have you seen this, Jamie?
I didn't watch it. I heard about it. Curious.
I took a screenshot right where this guy meets this bear pretty much face to face. Yeah. Yeah, you go watch this. I can't play it. You should go watch it for yourself. A Siberian influencer is lucky to be alive. Yeah. After he foolishly climbed into an empty bear's den, had to definitely escape from the predicament when the sizable creature returned home. Stefan Jankovic reportedly shared footage of the unnerving misadventure, which unfolded in the village of Granja Polynesia, if I got that right. Probably not. On social media over the weekend. In the video, the young man crouches down inside the cavernous den before turning his camera to the entrance to show the unsettling animal looking down into the darkness and sniffling as it can detect the undoubtedly terrified interloper. Fortunately, the bear opted not to charge down and confront the trespassing young man. That said, Jakavanovic found himself stuck as the only means of escape meant exiting through the hole where the creature stood guard. Amazingly, that's precisely what the influencer did, slowly clambering out of the cavern past the animal, which sniffed at his head and camera. During the incredible close encounter, Jankovic, sorry, I'm butchering this left and right, looked terrified as the bear was mere inches from his face, as you see here in this screenshot I took. Look at that. Look at that. He had to have pissed himself. I would have. Though thankfully he was allowed to peacefully pass the creature without being attacked. While the stunt wound up receiving worldwide attention, the influencer would probably be wise not to tempt fate with a sequel to the widely seen video. Like he wasn't Cocaine Bear. Man, I mean, seriously, what dumb idea did you get in your head? Ooh, this looks like an abandoned bear den. I'm going to crawl inside. Famous last words, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, you don't mess around with nature, dude. He's lucky.
Yeah. These are guys that eat suck on Tide Pods and fry chicken and NyQuil for views, so I'm not too surprised.
This I understand people wanting to watch, at least. I watched it, the video of this happening. Luckily it wasn't like a Faces of Death, which I wouldn't want to watch. I watched it because obviously you lived or they wouldn't show it. But God, oh my God. Yeah.
Like Jackass, we won't play your video if you go do something totally stupid like that. Oh, Rob!
Was it still locking you out?
Yeah, it wouldn't work. I had to change browsers.
Oh, did you get it to work now?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think so. I don't know.
All right, we can give it a shot.
We'll see. Yeah, it said I didn't have access.
That's so weird. All the years we've been doing this.
I know. Never had that.
I'll remove my screen.
Exactly. Anything for content these days, Tom.
Have you seen this, Rob? Did you see this influencer and the bear thing?
Yeah. I was
Dude,
watching
and
that
the sound of this thing breathing.
Yeah.
They say in the article sniffling. No, it's like.
Yeah.
It's snarling.
Dude, would have pissed myself the moment I heard it before I even saw it, dude. Would have pissed myself. Like, no way. Like, my Liam scares me. He loves bears. Like, I haven't showed him this video. I don't want to give him any crazy ideas. He wants, like, he was trying to find the same pet a bear thing. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a bad idea. Yeah. I don't think you should do that, I know he loves bears, but let's remind him of how much danger these creatures. Dude, I saw one of those, what was it? I Survives. That I never watched another I Survived again after because it was a horrible story about a mother who lost her children to a bear attack. It traumatized me, gave me nightmares, and this poor woman, for her, power to her to share such a horrible experience and all these years later and to share it. It broke my heart to listen. It was a grizzly bear attack. It was horrible. Yeah, don't mess with nature. This guy is lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Lucky there was no baby bears around. He'd be dead.
It reminded me of the video of the one dude that was hunting and he was up in a tree stand and the bear like ran up the tree and he was just like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have, if he would have ate me, he would have had fudge brownies for dessert.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. You know, then we got Ohio Park here. Possible alligator in a pond. Now, Rob, I want your opinion on this. Like, I don't have the video of the news because it was a news segment, so this is just a still picture. I don't know if you can see it, but this kid, swears. I'll read the article. A teenager visiting Ohio Park over the weekend spotted a mysterious creature lurking in a pond, and an investigation by authorities was seemingly unable to identify the unknown animal. According to a local media report, the strange sighting occurred on Sunday when James Bond. I think I see a alligator over the money penny. No, it's just James Bond from Ohio. Jimmy Bond, right? That's what he did say. Was fishing at the Dominic Lafino Park in the city of Beaver Creek. The young man's afternoon took a wondrous turn when he noticed some kind of creature surface from the water of the pond where he was casting his line. The first thing I had in my mind was maybe it was an otter, he recalled, but then I zoomed in with my phone and I realized that there was scales. When Bond sent the photos to his mother, she immediately expressed concern that the creature could be an alligator, which caused her to declare, "You need to get off the bank or wherever you're at and call the police." The young man's pictures were subsequently shared on his local Facebook group, where they caused something of a stir among residents who wondered what the weird animal might have been. The online chatter eventually prompted the Ohio Department of Natural Resources to investigate the situation, though a proverbial stakeout at the pond on Monday raised more questions than answers. In a statement released by the department, they indicated that city officials and wildlife experts do not believe an alligator or any other exotic animal is present in the park's pond. That said, they offered no insight as to the true nature of the creature encountered and photographed by Bond on Sunday afternoon. For now, the aquatic animal at the center of the case remains a mystery unless it surfaces again to provide witnesses with a better look at what it is. Okay, so what happens in winter with an alligator in Ohio in a pond? And if this was, it'd have to be a pretty sizable one, Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really, considering the guy took his picture with his cell phone, like maybe the first one ever invented. Why are they always blurry?
I don't know. It's not too blurry.
Well,
I think it's just that he just is zooming in.
Yeah.
It's out there. But can an alligator, you hear these stories of alligators in northern, or Midwest, like in ponds or lakes, because people like dump them in there,
Yeah. Whoops.
But can they survive after a winter?
Yeah, I don't know. Here, yeah. We got tons of alligators here, even in the winter.
Well, that's Florida.
Yeah, but it gets a lot colder there. So it snows. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's it freezes over.
Yeah,
it becomes like gator sickle.
Yeah. Could be one that just got too big for somebody and they went and dumped it in the pond. Who knows?
I don't know. This is why I don't go swimming in mysterious dark ponds or lakes and stuff. I have a big fear of the water. Thank you, Jaws, Steven Spielberg. All right. Speaking of that, going on to the next story, Loch Ness. Charity swimmer brushes up against mysterious creature in Loch Ness. We've reported on plenty of alleged Loch Nesses from Unexplained Mysteries. Loch Ness monster encounters over the years, but this is perhaps the first time we've heard of someone physically bumping into the unknown creature in the water. According to a report, 39-year-old Australian swimmer Duncan Roberts had been participating in a charity swim across the loch's murky waters when he felt something brush up against him. The depth and the darkness of the water plays tricks with your mind, he said. There's some weird energies at play in that water. And during my swim, I experienced a bump halfway across. It was something big. The water is pitch black, and I had my eyes closed a lot of the time. As the depth and darkness terrified me, so I didn't see anything. Terrified. He's swimming. It terrified. It would terrify me. That's why I would do it. But it terrified him. This guy still did it. Wow. Terrified me, so I didn't see anything. I just felt it. A big thud in the chest. During an interview with What's the Jam, he admitted that a possibility of the encountering the Loch Ness Monster had crossed his mind. I think anyone who swims in the deep part of the loch is lying if they say they haven't thought about the monster. I was focusing on getting across as quickly as possible so that the hit was a shock. I was already nervous enough before the swim. So this guy already had it in his head. And then imagine, now some of these guys might swim, they're like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in Loch Ness. I don't care. This guy's like, man, I'm going to make this the quickest swim of my life. And then imagine bumping in that water would go yellow. No, thank you. No, thank you. There was another story, I think, of somebody who was swimming the loch that felt that they bumped into it or something like that once years ago. I mean, it could have been anything. It could have been...
Yeah, it could have been a fish or something. But
it definitely, man, got to have some nerves of steel like that to swim across that and have that already in your mind.
Yeah.
And not flip out and keep going. But it was the fastest swim of his life. All right, let's move on. All right, now to some bizarre creatures photographed in Texas on a trail cam. A Texas trail cam snapped an eerie photograph showing a truly bizarre mystery creature that some have compared to a chupacabra. Very weird image, and you want to talk about blurry, there you go. It was reportedly captured last month in the community Dabina by a device placed by Michael Demmel at one of his favorite hunting spots. When checking the trail camera latest offering, he was shocked to see an unusual interloper mixed in among the unusual native wildlife like rabbits, bobcats, and foxes. My first reaction was something doesn't look right. Demmel recalled of the moment when he noticed the four-legged mystery critter crossing through a field. Although the hunter indicated that my first instinct that it was a monkey, likely due to its somewhat humanoid appearance. This is humanoid? I mean, it's blurry. I don't know. Can you zoom in on that at all? On that picture? Does it let you? It's from the Daily Star. I got it. I kind of see that. You see the... Okay. That is a bit odd-shaped. See it? I mean, it's blurry, but I get it. That is a bit odd-shaped. My first reaction was something that doesn't look right. Demmel recalled in the moment when he noticed the four-legged mystery critter crossing through a field. Although the hunter indicated that my first instinct that it was a monkey, likely due to somewhat humanoid appearance, his theory is but one of many rather fantastic suggestions offered for the creature's nature. I showed it to neighbors, family, and friends. Demmel said, I got everything from a skinwalker, a monkey, a chupacabra, and an alien. Remarkably, when asked about the image by a local newspaper, the Texas Park and Wildlife Department indicated that the animal was probably not a small deer. They said otherwise they could not identify the creature due to the quality of the image. What do you think of Demmel's strand? That's what their question. What do you think? It is an odd shape. You kind of see the that is a weird shape. The way the arms and the head is, it might just be the distortion.
I mean, it kind of looks like it has a horn.
Very just blurry.
And
kind of looks like a cow.
Sort of a cow, like even with something around his neck. But cows don't have bodies like that.
It's the body and the arms, legs, or whatever you want to call it. It seems a bit.
Or it could be a goat
weird.
head on a weird human-y kind of.
Wish it wasn't blurry. Those trail cams are not the greatest ones because it's whatever this is. It's just past the infrared light, so it's really distorted. It's hard to see. But I wonder what other pictures are there. There's just this one picture that we see. I don't think there was anything listed as other pictures. Let me go to reportedly here and see if there was anything else. There is okay, all right. Hey Rob, do you think this is a Substack original article because I got this from Coast to Coast. I'm gonna send you this link. See if this picture comes out better. If you can get it, can you go to this website? We got 3 minutes till commercial. I just sent it to you in Messenger. Seems like this is a clearer picture if you go to the website. I don't know. Oh, let me pull it up. Sorry. All right. See, can you zoom in on the website at all? Oh. They probably did a really super duper zoom in on it, and that's why it's so distorted, but that's probably as far as I can let you. I don't know, maybe more. It's really hard to see.
that's as far as it'll go.
Cow, dog, I don't know. It's weird. All right, where else are we at? Because we only got a couple more minutes here before we're going to go to commercial break. So we're on trail camera. Okay, real quick. We'll go to the next one. This is a video I got. Intriguing piece of dash cam footage from England shows a rather sizable creature crossing the road in front of a car, and the driver who witnessed the odd animal believes that it was an infamous British big cat. I love talking about the big cats from Britain because for so long it was lore or myth, but it's really not. There's so much proof now, in my opinion. All right, maybe this isn't proof, but I've seen a lot of other things I think are pretty definitive proof that there's some kind of big cat living in England. Go ahead and hit play. So I mean, really quick, there it goes. I mean, is that a small cat running across the road or a big cat? Looks like a big cat. You see how the tail is? See how that tail is? That looks like a puma or something like the tail. See how long that tail is? Or like a panther
It's so
or something.
fat and chunky looking though, instead of long and lean.
Janice Gill says, from the previous one, check some examples, I think a deer. I think that's probably the most logical explanation of the other one, the previous article. But this looks like a big cat. As blurry as it is, but you see the
I don't know,
tail.
we've
See the
got
tail?
some better big cats than this, but, you know, I don't know. I believe it's possible.
It's got a pretty big tail. We got a lot more weird stories. We're getting into the creatures here tonight, and then we got UFOs. I think I might have some ghost stuff. I don't know if I got any Bigfoot stuff tonight. I don't know. I have like 19 articles, and that was number 6. So we got some ways to go. But when we come back, we're going to open up the phone lines. You call in tonight. And we got weird stories and all that to keep us interested and going. We'll see how long we go. I got work to do in my basement after the show was shot backing up the water. But I'd like to hang out with you and talk to you. If you're new to the show, love to hear you tonight. Call in. If you're old to the show, call in. I don't care. But wait till after the commercial break. When we come back, I'll get the phone lines out to you. Call into the show and join the conversation. But we will be right back.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
Of the second kind, physical evidence of a UFO. Close encounters of the third kind, contact. From Steven Spielberg, the director of Jaws, comes one of the most ambitious and unusual films ever made. And what you will see has never been seen before. It's a cosmic mystery crossing what many scientists believe will be the next threshold of human experience. It is called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It begins in an Indiana town and leads to one inescapable conclusion. We are not alone. of the third kind, Certificate A, now showing at the Odeon, Leicester Square.
The international chart-topping Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest has been described as terrifyingly real, a must-read, shocking and chilling brilliance, genuinely worrying, utterly frightening. Don't read before bed. Described as one of the spookiest writers out there, best-selling author G.L. Davies presents Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest, the true paranormal account that is shocking the world. Dare you enter? Dare you read? Haunted Horror of Haverfordwest is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, and wherever books are sold. Pray you never have to live there.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from Talkstream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe, 5 by
5. Tonight is Paranormal Soup's open lines night. That means you call in and join the conversation. Phone lines are 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419. You can also call in by Skype. Skype IDs, there's two of them, jblandoo, or the other one is jblandparanormalsoup. Now, I only have a couple phone lines for anybody new to the show. So if you call in and it hangs up on you, just remember I will call you back. Or no, actually, you know what? I'll let you try to call me back, because if my phone lines blow up, it's hard for me to call you back. Try calling again after you hear a caller get off. It's first come, first serve how it comes. And we're going to continue on with the World Wide Web of Weird, because we have a lot of weird stories to get to tonight. And, you know, we'll see how long we go with the show. We'll see you guys make the show tonight. That's what I love open lines night. So got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and get rolling on into it. All right, where were we? Let me open up the phone lines. That's one thing. Phone lines are now open. You can call in, join the conversation. 219-230-4444. Let me get the banners up. I also have the phone lines. There we go. And we got a caller. All right, we'll hold our thoughts on, what's that one? What do I got? What article I got there? Oh, the Nacho cheese. We'll get to that story in a second, but let's see what we got on the phone line. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, it's Heather.
Oh, hey. How's it going, Heather?
Oh, it's been going quite crazy over here in Iowa.
Really? What's been going
Especially
on?
since those full moons and everything. my mom and me have both seen what I can only describe as either a skinwalker or a shapeshifter over in our area of the trailer park that I live in.
Wow. Okay.
And I made eye contact with it, and I did some research or something, and something about an Indian folklore. If you make eye contact, it's going to try to take my soul, which I'm not too afraid of that. But this thing was huge. It was taller than my little brother. My little brother is like 6'5", 6'6".
Okay, so he's
was
not a
taller
little. He's your little brother, but he's not little.
Yeah, he's my baby brother.
Baby
I'll put
brother,
it that way.
but he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And this thing was bigger
yeah,
than him.
he's a big boy. Yeah.
Wow, Heather. Okay, so all right. So what was going on? Like, so have you guys been having weird stuff like this? I take it in the trailer park in your community. Like, have people other witnesses? Or I mean, what's been going on?
Pretty much everybody shuts themselves up after dark, especially down at my end of the trailer park.
Yeah.
I come home late at night, so I see things coming down the road and everything. My experience, I saw it down the road, dashing down underneath a bridge of a creek.
Okay.
My mom has seen it over at a vacant trailer that's kitty corner. So when she pokes her head out the doors, she kind of saw it, but I don't think it saw her. But yeah, it's been looming around and everything. And then I've also had an experience where a figure all in white, and it looked like a woman in a dress, was standing at the edge in the ditch of our gravel road, and there's cornfields all around us, surrounding us too. So, and I put my brakes on when I saw it, and it was gone like a flash. So, yeah, that's what we've been experiencing.
Do you know? Are you near any Indian burial grounds?
I don't know, but I do know that we have Native Americans living in the trailer park, but I don't know about actual burial grounds.
Okay. I'm just wondering, curious, because, I mean, there is a lot of times with these dogman sightings, they're near Indian burial grounds a lot of times. Not always, of course, no. I mean, the dogman's been spotted in a lot of different ways and places, but this is a common feature, so I was curious if maybe that's a possibility for the weirdness. How long have you been there? How long have you been living there?
We've been living here for over 10 years, and we have never experienced anything like this until this last full moon session took place. And
really?
Yeah. Everything just started going crazy.
I really felt like this last full moon, there was something about it. That's weird that you say that. Like, there was something, I don't know, like, called to me this last full
I know
moon.
there was a few days that I felt off and everything, and I kind of brushed it off as it being because of the full moon stuff, but,
Or the eclipse.
you know, seeing this.
Sorry, what is that, Jamie?
We had the eclipse energy that was really interfering with it.
Oh, that's right, too. Yeah.
I'm trying to, it's weird, though, that you guys have been there 10 years, and then you guys are having these sightings since, so this has just all happened in the last week or so, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So the strangeness is just starting for you.
and even stranger is all of our stray cats. My mom, she feeds all the stray cats and everything. When this thing is out, all the stray cats come up on our deck. They will not go off the deck at all. Every one of the stray cats are on our deck.
Looking for the nearest shelter.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully none of those stray cats can start going missing. You know, let's hope that doesn't happen. Wow, Heather, that...
Is it like a shadow figure type thing that you're seeing?
The thing I saw, the only way I could describe it, it was like seeing a werewolf. I'm going to put it that way.
That's fine. I mean, I've had people.
That's the only way my mind can concept it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, like, so Go ahead.
Can
Go
I
ahead,
also say that recently, with the transients and everything happening right now, within this week is a very, very big time where the veil between the living and the dead is even closer than normal. It would normally take like a few weeks more, but paranormal sightings and people who are sensitive to certain things or have something unfinished or whatever, like it's supposed to be a really important time for these things to surface, like right now.
Yeah, I read some. I don't know if you posted anything on that. All I know is I read something on Facebook about that. So
Yeah, Jamie usually
it's
has
just
a lot of the
been
horse
weird,
stuff
though.
and astrological stuff that she posts, and I try to catch some of it too. So I mean, did you see did you see like, could you see like fur, or like what, like any?
I saw some of the fur.
Yeah.
I saw some of the fur. I remember the first thing I noticed was the red eyes. It was red eyes.
So you saw the eyes. I thought you didn't, because you said you didn't want to look in its eyes. So you saw the red eyes?
No, I'm the only one that made eye contact with this thing.
So you did make eye contact with. I missed that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so you made eye
Yeah.
contact. You saw like glowing red eyes. Were they glowing?
Yeah. And it darted across the road into the ditch, into the where there's a creek and a big, huge stone bridge.
Yeah.
That we have. I travel over.
How old's that bridge? Is it an older bridge or?
It's been out here longer than I have.
Okay.
The house that nearest house to that bridge is a historical site.
Okay.
If that makes
Yeah. Okay.
sense. So
What's the history? What's the historical site?
I'm not quite sure about too much about the history of the historical site.
Okay.
I know somebody's living there
Really?
and taking care of the place, but
I would look into that. So
Can
I
I-
always feel like, yeah. Go ahead.
I have one more question. How did you feel when you made that direct eye contact?
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good
take yourself back to that moment. How did you feel, and what was the first thing that came to like that voice in your stomach? Like, what was the vibe?
Yeah.
fear,
Just dread.
shock, and then the next thing out of my mouth was "What the f?" And I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop to find out what the hell that was. I'm just going straight home. So
Yeah.
that's what I
You
did.
knew immediately that this was just no good.
Did you get the sense that you felt it before you saw it?
No, it wasn't until I was coming down the road and everything, and then I saw this glowing red eyes that were standing really tall, and I'm like, "What the heck is that?"
So
And
it was.
I
just
slowed down.
clear, over 6'5", standing from what
Yeah.
the description was, and you see the red eyes.
Yeah,
And did you get the feeling of any sort of message, like just like not hearing it, audibly coming from the creature itself, but in your mind, did something happen to go through it at that time that you thought something or any sort of a message?
What Jamie's getting at is a common experience is people feel like these things communicate to them telepathically.
I wasn't feeling any communication. I
Just fear.
my gut was just to get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Wow, Heather. I would look into that property and like find out why is it a historical site, and try to find out.
Definitely.
Like these things are usually like the commonalities that aren't always the case, but are near Indian burial grounds or graveyards. I mean, you think about Anubis, Guardian of the Dead, Egypt, Dogman there, original Dogman. There's something to do with graveyards, burial grounds, and Dogman. There is a connection. So that's why I was asking that question. It could be nothing there, but I'm wondering what the history is or what happened there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is really, keep me posted as more weird stuff happens like this, and I'm interested to hear. I've been thinking about getting back into writing and a fictional writing, and the story I'm working on is like a werewolf dogman kind of story. So I'm really fascinated. I'm really fascinated. by your call tonight.
Yeah, that
This is
was
awesome.
that. My mom was like, "Have you talked to your paranormal friends yet about it?" I'm like, "No, not yet." I and everything. I was waiting for the right time, and then when you said open line night tonight, I was like, "Perfect."
It almost didn't happen tonight. You definitely made it. Our first call already made it way worth it. So thank you so much. Because, like I said, my basement flooded right before the show, and I was shot back my little butt off to get ready to get on. So it almost didn't happen. So thank God. Yeah, thank God we did the show, because I definitely wanted to hear this experience tonight. So see, people, this is why I love doing the show. Right here, Heather, first call tonight. It doesn't mean you guys have to live up to this call. It doesn't. Whatever you want to talk about or share, we can get into. You got a question or whatever your paranormal experience, call in. But Heather, you're amazing. Thank you for thinking of us when you had this experience.
You're welcome.
You mentioned.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
You mentioned that people in your side of the park are like staying in after dark. Is that because of this, or is that just
right? Are they talking about it?
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it. My mom has been talking to the guy that does like yard work and mowing and all that kind of stuff. He knows about what's going on because he's heard it through the grapevine, through everybody else and everything. But nobody's actually saying anything.
But they are talking about it because he's heard it. He's heard it.
Yeah,
so they are talking about it. Oh man. Oh,
they're talking about it, but like discreetly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
we got
that's
a
what
lot
people
of
do in these situations.
a lot of people that don't know what's going on exactly, and some people that don't believe in the paranormal stuff or supernatural stuff. So,
well, you get any more? I want to start document this. Document it, Heather. Please write it down. Write everything down that's happening. Date it. Write it down. Do this. Do me this favor, Heather, because you're in the mix of a skinwalker situation, kind of, or dogman or weirdness going on. I don't. It could be brief. This could all be it, or it could keep going and get more weird. Document.
Yeah, do yourself this favor.
okay.
Yeah, and for me here at the show, I'm a little bit greedy. I want you to call in and tell me all the details.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
Witnesses, I'd love to hear from them. So yeah, keep me posted. Paranormal Roundtable. Josh Turner is my Dogman guy. So you should check him out if you haven't. And I know he would be interested to hear your experience on this for sure, because yeah, he's big into Dogman. He's had his own experiences. So thank you so much, Heather.
Yep.
All right.
You have a good night.
You too, because my phone lines are blowing up. All right. So we got other stories. We got thank you, Heather. Have a great night. We got the nacho cheese story coming up here in a second, but I am getting the calls, so I do want to take them. Phone lines are open. I know somebody was just trying to call in. There we go. All right, next one. First come, first serve. All right, who do we got on the line?
Hi, Jason. It's Zariana.
Zariana, you're a pro, so I
how
don't
are
need
you?
doing good. I don't need to remind you of this. I just want to call this out because I keep forgetting. I have it here in my notes to remind people because I have new callers probably tonight. Just remind you people, this is a PG-13 show. I do have kids that watch, younger kids, and I don't like swearing. So if you call in, try not to swear or be vulgar or do anything like that. You wouldn't want to stay in front of like a 10 or 12-year-old or somebody like that. Because I have kids that watch, my own kids watch this show sometimes. So I keep it PG-13. So she's a pro. Zariana already knows that. So how you doing?
Yeah, well, I don't do that. I'm doing good. The previous caller, I think it was a Skinwalker.
It's sounding weirdness like Skinwalker. She sees a lady in white. We got some weird vibes from that. We got people talking in the town. Things are starting to get strange ever since the full moon. Silver Bullet, Stephen King's one of my favorite movies. That kind of vibe. Like the town, is talking. Next thing you know, the drunk's dead on the rail trail. Sorry, my imagination goes wild.
Yeah. Because the ones that I saw, well, I mean, animals have red eyes when you shine a light and stuff. But I definitely saw red eyes with the few that I've seen.
But you weren't shining a light; they're glowing red eyes. There's a difference because I've had a glowing red eye experience from my shadow person. And it wasn't light; it was glowing.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. What I wanted to make a comment is you had something about the thing that went down, the game controller, whatever, the guy that did the submarine
Titan,
or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's the Titan submersible.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, is there any way that, I know it probably wouldn't make as much money as they make now, these people. But is there any way that they could possibly do a virtual, like send a camera down and have,
You're not getting, but you're not getting. Yeah, people can do that. They've done that. James Cameron, man. I mean, he sent a bunch of cameras down there. They could do that. Oh yeah, but that's not what it's about. It's about people with a lot of money going, I went and saw the Titanic. What did you do this summer?
Yeah, but
you know, it's the thrill ride. You know, they got to go down there and see it.
Oh, yeah,
They
because
were well
I was
aware
like,
of the dangers too.
But you have a cool
Yeah.
idea. I mean, like, you know, somebody get a company like, hey, here, you can drive from home remotely a vehicle for so many hours you rent. It goes down to the depths. And you can see the Titanic and roll the vehicle around. But it's hard to get a signal down there. I mean, it's a lot of money to do that. So you'd still be rich to pay for a virtual tour of it, I bet. I wouldn't.
yeah, well,
some
I mean,
skills
he was
and
directing this. Yeah, he was directing this thing with a game controller. Come on, you know. I mean, you know.
Stockton was crazy, man. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know.
He didn't listen to. He was warned by a lot of people, and he didn't.
Yeah, yeah, and people were backing out and things like that and stuff like, you know. I mean, it was, you know. No, I was just wondering if they could do that, you know. I mean, and then the other theory or conspiracy theory that I've been hearing on the different social media things is that the people that went down are these people.
They're
know,
they're what people?
The lost souls, the people that went down with the Titanic, kind of loosely saying like a curse, like they took these people, you know.
Oh, you mean the original Titanic sink? The people on the original Titanic?
Yeah, like they're, you know.
There was.
I know there were a lot of bankers and financial type people.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories that surround the Titanic. We could spend a night on, because I know there's the chance that it wasn't the Titanic, that it was its sister ship, and they switched ships, and it was all insurance fraud. That's one of the big ones. There's some that say the ship never sank. You know, I don't think that's true, because I mean, there's a lot of money that's been spent there to see that on the ocean floor, and people die obviously doing that. But the one about the insurance fraud is really interesting, and some of the things that went down with the Titanic is really interesting. I don't know. There's a curse thing too. There was a artifact that was on the Titanic, Egyptian artifact. I'm trying to remember what it was. That they said was cursed. That could possibly, you know, there's a lot. You know, it's one of those things. And then the thing is, this was called the Titan, and wasn't it the book that was written a decade before the Titanic went down? Was the Titan that went down? You know, it was like
I was gonna mention
it just basically mimics the Titanic. Yeah. So there's a lot of mystery with the Titanic. So I have a fear. I love ships. I like big ships, so I've always been fascinated by the Titanic. But I have a big fear of water and drowning and sinking ships, and that's like my worst fear is the whole Titanic. That scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, like in the ship going down and all that. I watched that in the theater, and it was hard for me actually because I really have a thing about ships going down like that. It makes my gut drop. Like,
Well, I've seen the traveling. Yeah, I've seen the traveling Titanic exhibit.
Yeah, I've heard that's had some haunted. We've had some stories about it haunted. Recently was the flooding of they couldn't explain in the exhibit.
Yeah.
I have my own weird flooding. No, it's not paranormal.
Yeah, you have your own weird flooding. Yeah, but it is a somber exhibit to me, you know, because knowing that all those people perished and, you know, and the stuff that they know now that, well, I don't know if it was ignorance because at that time,
there's a lot of things that are questionable about the Titanic, and it's interesting. Like I said, that could be its own show. I swear, maybe I'll find a good guest in that, you know, on the Titanic. It'd be great. I'd get into that all night. I love history. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Rhode Island has a very small Titanic Museum, and I was lucky enough to go on on the anniversary when it sank,
Yeah.
things like that, and they had two people in one of the rooms, and they kept, like the radio room, and they were calling for, help and stuff like that. It was a nice reenactment, and they did have some things that I don't know if they were real, but they said they were real, artifacts and things. But yeah, it's very somber, and it's just very sad that all those lives were lost.
Yeah. It's sad for the Stockton Titan too. I mean, a young man and his father went on that trip. And I remember the worst part of that story is the young man didn't really want to go, but he did it because his father really wanted to go.
Yeah, so maybe you and Jamie and Rob have a theory. Do you think they knew something was going to go on? And
with the Titan or the Titanic?
No, the Titan. The submarine.
I mean, they should have with all the warnings that were going on, but I don't think there's much of a conspiracy theory to it. I think it was just a bunch of blunders and a rich guy getting what he wanted to do and wasn't listening to others. I mean, honestly, that's what Stockton did.
The kid was, I think, scared just because, too, like all the problems they've already had and everything. So it's probably like his gut telling him this might not be a good idea. Now, the cancer doctors that went down in the plane or the helicopter.
Well, that's a whole other story. Don't get into that. I'm already going to get us in enough trouble tonight with YouTube. Just wait. If we get through these stories tonight, I got one. It'll probably get us in enough trouble. Well, thank you, Ziriana, for calling in.
Yeah, thank you very much, and have a blessed night, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
So let's get on to the nacho cheese. Oh, let me pull this up. Where article were we on?
What?
Oh, yeah. I got the shorter article from Coast to Coast on this. Bizarre nacho cheese dispute leads to baseball bat attack on Vegas gas station. In a wild story out of Las Vegas, a gas station employee was arrested for attempted murder after he allegedly attacked a customer with a baseball bat because he believed that patron had taken too much cheese for his nachos. The bizarre, this is Las Vegas, not Florida. The bizarre incident reportedly occurred earlier this month at Arco convenience store where Myron Bully, that's his last name, was working the register. According to what he later told police, the gas station employee's overnight shift went sideways when the victim, Isaiah Taylor, entered the shop and started acting unruly. Although Bully kicked him out of the convenience store, the would-be patron returned shortly thereafter with the intention of buying some nachos. Already annoyed at the persistent patron, Bully told police that he exploded when he saw Taylor taking an inordinate amount of cheese for his nachos to the point that somehow managed to break the dispenser. The perceived disrespect from the patron was a proverbial bridge too far for the convenience store clerk. Nacho cheese! You know what? I can just hear it.
I have drowned my chips in that cheese.
He proceeded to attack the careless customer with a baseball bat after pushing him out the store. The weapon-wielding worker ultimately left the badly beaten Taylor on the ground outside the gas station, where another patron found him and called 911. Upon being questioned by police, Bully admitted that he had been behind the attack that left Taylor with an array of injuries that required serious medical attention. After explaining the cheese-related circumstance that prompted the beating, the gas station worker indicated that he had hoped that his actions would send a message to any other troublesome customers. You see that guy out there bleeding on the ground? Nacho cheese! Sorry, I'm 12. I know. Oh, yeah. I pulled this up to one of my coworkers was having a bad day. I said, "Don't be the nacho cheese guy."
I mean, I know
crazy on me now.
Like, I go in there, I dump my cheese in my little thing, and I perfectly go across, making sure it goes across all the chips this way. Then I make sure it goes across all the chips that way.
I'm sure this guy was extraordinarily drunk, and he's just going.
And then I put all onions and tomatoes on it.
He's just holding the cheese scene down and looking at him like like that. I can picture it in my mind. And this guy's just jumping over the counter with a bat like he's had it. He's done with these people.
I mean, it breaks the container. I mean, the bags are
broke
only
it.
this big. I mean, I watched
that was it. The final straw. Broke the nacho cheese machine.
Out of a bag.
Nacho cheese. All right, nacho cheese.
Nacho cheese.
All right, let's move on. All right. Next up, astronomers. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, astronomers. I cannot say astronomers are getting better at detecting asteroids before they hit Earth, and it could save us from catastrophe. You think? Like, how many times I've been saying this 9 years of doing this show? Like, if we're going to spend money on space, this is where we need to be spending it on, is being able to detect these asteroids that eventually will hit us. It's like mathematical probability. It's a long article here from The Conversation. It's original article. It's just basically on September 4, 2024, astronomers discovered an asteroid 1 meter in diameter heading towards Earth. The space rock would burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere near Philippines later that day, officially announced. Nevertheless, it was produced a spectacular fireball that was shared in videos posted on social media. The object known as RWI was the only ninth asteroid to be spotted before impact. But what of much bigger, more dangerous asteroids? Would our warning systems be able to detect all the asteroids? No, is the answer, where we currently stand. But we're getting better, is what you learn in this article. But don't you think this would be like, I think, our number one space priority?
Well, I think, yeah, that and getting the people out of space right now.
Oh, yeah, we can't even get people home. That's right. Because they took a crappy Boeing space Starliner up there that's falling apart and making weird noises.
But we're going to Mars and we're going to the moon soon.
Yeah. No, screw the moon. We're going right to Mars.
The
Aliens on the moon.
Right space suit to be compatible.
Oh, no. That rich a-hole just went out in space on that spacewalk in his nice spacesuit, right? SpaceX.
They have
what was that guy? I'm just saying, like, I want to go to Mars and the moon. I want to see if aliens are on the moon, because I think we covered that up. I think we went there and we covered up aliens, my personal opinion. So I want to see us go. But at the same time, if we're going to spend money on anything, I think this is where it should be at. I think we should be. And then we just need Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck to go up there and blow up the asteroid, right? Want to make things worse is what it would have done. But we need to do something. Because it's an eventuality. I mean, I know they talk about, Elon Musk says we got to go to Mars because, eventuality of this happening and we need to make up an insurance to have people on other planets. Yeah, but let's try to save this planet. Let's make sure we save this planet. We can do this. We can do this.
So quick just to, leave this one in the dust.
Because only the rich people are going to get to go, and the people end up being the slaves for the rich people that get to go. Say to Mars. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be owned by... I've seen Total Recall, okay? They cut your air off, okay? Not going to have a good time on Mars.
No.
You're going to have little buggy-eyed people growing out your stomach. Reading your mind. Sorry. I'll move on.
Poop potatoes.
I'm just saying this should be important. This should be what we should... Instead of spending money on wars and all this stuff, as a world, you want to come together on something, we should come together on this, because we're literally just waiting for a stray bullet to hit us.
Like, we have one Earth, everybody. One.
Yeah.
Like, we have one sun, we have one Earth.
I mean, we do have a bunch of rich a-holes making penis rockets, but they're their penis rockets. You're not getting on board. I'm just saying, if humanity wants to come together on something, I think this should be it. We should be ready to support these scientists, support these astronomers. Can't say that. And let's make sure we come with some kind of game plan to deal with this when it happens. That should be our focus, as if we want to live as a civilization, because it's only a matter of time.
Worse.
I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's mathematical probability we will get hit. So why don't we do something? Why don't we get on top of this? Put all the money we can and resources behind it.
There's that one in 90 years or 30 years or a way time off from now that's supposed to hit Earth that they're looking at. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I had this guy that worked at NASA tell me about it. He goes, "That's what haunts me." I think it's called Anubis, isn't it? It's called Anubis.
I can't remember.
I think it's called Anubis.
2090 or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, wasn't there one in 2029? I don't know. Doom. You know, as
We
say.
constantly
All right.
have. That's what I mean. Like, there's always an asteroid.
Let's move on. This is the article that'll probably get me in trouble. I should have saved it to last tonight before I... All right, so this is Unexplained Mysteries article. A little, as they do, tone back the rhetoric and stuff like this. All they say is, findings of major new study into origins of COVID pandemic published. They don't tell you what that study is, but here is the Daily Mail article. It wasn't a lab leak. Scientists say they have finally discovered that the truth about the origins of COVID.
When was this? Okay, 2 days ago, they're trying to push it again, saying it was a Wuhan lab leak.
Yeah, have you noticed that?
I'm
You
like,
know what they're based?
I forgot already.
Okay, so read the fine print of the study and the article. Who did it? Only one study, and yeah, they're the people that should be on the ground and know the most. Is the China CDC, their Center of Disease Control. That's the study they're basing it off of. So you're telling me. So you found all these wet market animals that had COVID in them. All right, okay, and you're saying that proves that it came from the wet market. Okay. At the same time, we're talking about the government that withheld information from the World Health Organization, even though they pretty much control them anyways, how much money they give them, but they still wouldn't even give them information. They wouldn't let independent investigators come in and investigate anything. They didn't share any data with the world, hardly at all. They tried to cover this up and hide it, and it happened, the wet market, in the same place where they had the Wuhan lab. And why are we going to suddenly be so happy to back up the story and push it here in the U.S. media, because our U.S. media is totally a puppet master, they're puppet masters of the U.S. government? Why are we going to push this story and say, yeah, see, we were wrong, it was from the wet market, it wasn't a lab? Why were they going to push the story and say, go with China, who is culpable maybe in helping release a weaponized virus on the world? Why are we so willingly go with, are they going to openly admit, hey, yeah, we are bad. It wasn't from a wet market. It was our lab that leaked. Are they going to actually admit that, or are they going to cover it up? What do you think? And why are we so happily able to let them cover it up and want them to cover it up? Because we're culpable in it. We're culpable in it. We sold them materials. We funded the research.
Quarters had fruit bats on the back. Yeah, there were some other animals too, but bats.
We refunded the research.
Yeah.
We funded the research. So we're
that lab.
Oh, don't say Loaded Vertilemet's name. It's just like, the other one, But, yeah, you know who? Little ouchie, patchy. Yeah, so in 2017, 2013, what was it, like 300 scientists wrote an open letter to the Obama administration saying, hey, NIH is doing some very dangerous experiments here on gain of the function. So we really don't want that to happen here. That's kind of dangerous.
We're just like, here, just check it out. Do as much research as you want.
So the Obama administration responds, and, we kind of shut that research down here in the U.S. mostly. But they just outsourced it. Where'd they outsource it? Wuhan lab. Oh, where else? Oh, labs in Ukraine, because they used to be Russian biolabs when the Russians controlled it back during the Soviet Union. And now they're open to Ukraine, which is just a big corrupt piece of crap. Sorry. This is show really going to get... I'm glad I don't have a guest tonight with this one. But, yeah, when I saw this article, I was just like, seriously, are you freaking kidding me? This is what they're going to try to push on us now. Like, seriously. Yeah, and they're basing it off of one group. But yeah, they were the people on the ground. They have the most data. Oh, yeah, that they didn't want to share, and we're going to just take their word for it. Okay.
We've had all the summits. We've had everything come out about gain of function, everything. And now it's like people have just completely, I don't know, like just don't look at it. Or they forget. Like, do you not just remember what we just learned?
And the ultimate thing is, why were they finding it so important to do gain of function research to help get ahead of these viruses that they think come from wet markets and all this stuff? Why? Is that why? No. What it was is that the NIH was mainly funded on AIDS research for a long time. That's where a lot of their funding came. Well, AIDS was Magic Johnson. He don't have AIDS. Everybody's fine. AIDS. It's all gone. And then their funding's drying up. So guess what? After we had 9/11. We also had the anthrax scare. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that got Congress moving. Oh, yeah, when they want to do something, boy, did they do something. They started the Patriot Act, and then they also started wanting the DOD to fund research into bioweapons. And somebody like saw that as an opportunity window to get a bunch of money and funding if he could do the research for him, because they couldn't officially do the research. We signed treaties that said we're not going to develop bioweapons. But hey, if you're doing it under viral protection, and then you can do the research. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened, and they're going to try to cover it up. Hope we forget. Don't ask. We were all attacked with a weaponized virus. There are a lot of people with weirdness going on, sickness and health. See your doctors.
And they're trying to make us forget,
and we're not going to know.
Stick up our nose, because I've just learned about that, and that little part in your brain that they're actually bruising. I have a whole thing about all that now, and that's why they're jamming you in your brain, hoping that you're going to forget and accept what's going on around you, and making people zombies. Wait till you see this put together.
Yeah, when I saw this, though, I was pretty on fire. Another reason why I wanted to do a show tonight, I'm like, I got to talk about this. We got to wake up to this kind of stupidity, manipulation. Like maybe it did come from wet market, but how are we ever really going to know? We're only trusting the source of the people who never wanted to share information with us and would be culpable in a crime. Just saying. We'll move on from that because we want to get to more paranormal weirdness. I know we will get out of this stuff.
It came from a lab.
Yeah.
We all know it.
But why do they want to kill us all off? Why is the big conspiracy? Population. There's too many people. I always said when they're going to do it, if the conspiracy theory is true that they want to depopulate the world and all that stuff, they'll do it when the robots can replace us, because they got to have something to replace the workforce and the servants. They needed their slaves, and they got to have enough of that. I'm not going to show the video for this. Unexplained Mysteries is the article here, and there's a link to the video. You can watch it and see how human-like this thing moves. Neo Beta robot is like something out of a science fiction movie. We've seen some impressive robots over the last few years from companies such as Tesla and Boston Dynamics, but this latest model revealed by lesser-known 1X has certainly succeeded in turning some heads in recent weeks. Known as Neo Beta, the robot, which is covered in sort of a skin-like suit to hide its robotic components, seems to be designed to act and assist for use around the home, and it's totally what it looks like. It looks like somebody's wearing a suit. I thought it was. It's a robot. And that's where it's coming. We got Neo Beta. He's pretty well working there if you see the video. I mean, of course it's publicity, and they're, who knows, it might be a person in a suit. But if it isn't, and you see what Tesla's doing, we are heading to C-3PO robots, next to us, or Terminators. Either we get good goldenrods we can abuse and yell at, or we get Terminators that kill us for it. Look at this thing. I mean, it literally moves around. It could totally help her around the house. That's what it looks like in the video. For the super rich, I'm sure. We'll get them first.
What else can it help her with?
As they replace people with robots,
Exactly.
Oh, do I have it? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't. How do I miss that soundbite? That's weird. The one soundbite I haven't wanted to play tonight, and I don't have it. You know what soundbite? They took your jibs! That's what I was looking for, that soundbite. Where did it go? That sucks. That would have been perfect for this.
Ohio says, but do you want those jobs?
Yeah, people need jobs, Oh, no, but that's why they want to do universal basic income.
Yeah.
There's a reality show they're doing. They're doing a reality show where they're going to have people live off of universal basic income in the reality show and see how it goes. And you can watch it all on live TV, to promote that. Great TV show, I think, that covers maybe the problem we could face with universal basic income is The Expanse. It's about the future, space travel, and all that. But when you see how crappy Earth is in some parts, the crappy parts are the people, everybody lives off of universal basic income. And they can't get away from it. They can't get out of it. They're trapped there. They're basically living on the government cheese and doing nothing. It's kind of sad. They took our, yeah! There it is! All right, well, on to space things. Like I said, it's Expanse. Love the book series. Love the show. Here we go. Gravitational waves could help us detect alien warp drives. If someone out there is using a Star Trek-style warp drive, there may be a way for us to detect it from here on Earth. Katie Cow, Sebastian Kahn, and Tim Dietrich. How much do we really know about what else is out there in the universe? Let's take an outstanding example. There was aliens flying around our galaxy with some sort of warp drive technology we often see in sci-fi shows. What would be the signal from their ships look like? Perhaps surprisingly, our research shows we have the tools to answer this question, regardless of whether such things really exist. Telescopes use light to probe space and can now see almost to the edge of what is observable. Each new frequency we have explored, from gamma rays and X-rays to infrared and radio, has taught us something new and unexpected. In 2015, a new China telescope detector, LIGO, was turned on, not looking for light waves, but for gravitational waves, which are invisible ripples in space and time. Again, nature surprised us with a single labeled GW150914 from a pair of black holes. This is what they use to find black holes, because it's going to distort gravity. If you can detect that on space, what they're getting at, you're going to be, if people are running around in the Starship Enterprise out there using a warp drive, we should be able to detect it. In Star Trek, they always did. Like, they check the warp signal. They're detecting the gravity distortion of a warp drive. My question is, when we get our own warp drive, we're going to need it. We're going to have to get off this planet, right? Because we're not going to save it because we don't care. Let's move on. What time is it? Okay. Where am I at? Are we on Loeb? Yes. AV Loeb, while they're looking for gravitational waves in space for spaceships flying by, and they're all like, roll up the windows, roll up the windows, Russ. As they drive by Earth, that's what they should do. They shouldn't stop here, but for some reason they do. AV Loeb thinks they do, and they leave their space trash. AV Loeb, we should be looking for interstellar alien space trash. Loeb's efforts to find evidence of an intelligent alien life have certainly been raising a few eyebrows in the recent years, with Harvard astrophysicists making headline news around the world in 2023 when he attempted to retrieve pieces of an interstellar meteorite from the ocean floor that he believed may have been artificially created by an intelligent alien civilization from a distant solar system. In a recent interview with Live Science, he also described another method for finding evidence of ET, scouring our immediate vicinity for interstellar technological space trash. I would like to see if among the rocks that arrive into our solar system from other stars, there's any technological debris, he said. It could be space trash or it could be functional, but it should be easy to differentiate between rocks and something else. So if I had all the money in the world, I would establish an experimental program to monitor objects within the orbit of the Earth around the sun. I'm with him. If I had all the money in the world, I'd be on top of that too. But mainly to make sure we're going to look for asteroids coming to hit the Earth. Loeb also suggested that more effort should be made to look for signs of life on Mars. There was some preliminary evidence that perhaps the soil of Mars has some tantalizing signatures of life that were first hinted at with the Viking missions in 1976. Well, we're going to probably do that. I don't know. But the space trash thing I think is really interesting. I think we should really look at the outer asteroid belt. Because, if that aliens were mining stuff, that they're looking for materials, that belt has to have a lot. Maybe the mining debris. Who knows? But yeah, space trash. That Black Knight satellite, is that space trash? Aliens leave their trash too, maybe. We're just like the Native American on the side of the road crying when we see their space trash. No, okay. All right, nobody gets that reference. All right, let's move on. So we got a commercial break coming up here. More on Prince Philip. Now, we've talked about Prince Philip's UFO library he had and his obsession with UFOs that's been reported since his death. And we heard a little bit about it before his death, that he was into UFOs. Now, supposedly, he was going to meet an alien named Janice. This article from the Metro looks like something right off, like you'd go up, walk to the aisle at your grocery store, and you see, like, one of those magazines, they'll show Elvis and an alien, and now it's Prince Philip and alien. That's what it looked like, but it's Metro. Husband to the late Queen Elizabeth II, Prince Philip, who died in 2021 at the age of 99, was believed to have had a keen interest in UFO phenomenon. According to a new documentary, The King of UFOs, Prince had allegedly been involved in the plan to meet an actual extraterrestrial entity named Janice, who had previously met with his equerry, Sir Peter Horsley. According to director Michael Christopher Lee, the meeting was to take place in a flat in Chelsea. Horsley actually met this Janus entity in a flat in Chelsea in 1954. He claimed that he had earth-real, otherworldly quality and could read his mind and extract information about flying saucers. Horsley wanted Philip to meet with this Janus, as Janus had a message to give him that the world needed saving, as Philip was a man of great vision. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the meeting never actually took place. Philip didn't go to the meeting, and it is most likely that Janus could have been a Russian spy, but Horsley stuck to his belief that Janus was not of this world. If Janus was really a Russian spy, it is likely they were hoping to take advantage of Philip's interest in UFO phenomenon to get access to him, perhaps to grill him for sensitive information. Chillingly, it may have been part of an assassination attempt. The King of UFOs will be streaming from September 20th on Amazon. This is the documentary. I kind of want to see it. I could see like his people in security and MI6 saying, "Hey, you probably shouldn't meet with the alien. It's probably a Russian hoax, Russian disinformation." I don't know. Who knows? Let's move on. Maybe he didn't need to meet with the alien because he already was an alien. He's a reptilian, according to David Icke, right? Okay. Just saying, shapeshifter, royal bloodlines. Wasn't part of the reptilian circle. All right, let's move on. So where am I at? What is this? Oh, wait. Belief in alien visitation has grown. This is this article here, originally from The Week. I got the Unexplained Mysteries article. Belief in alien visitation now gaining unprecedented traction. Wonder why. While tales of strange objects in the skies have been recounted in artwork and literature dating back centuries, the modern UFO phenomenon didn't really get started until the early 1940s, when tales of Foo Fighters over the battlefields of Europe and the story of Kenneth Arnold brought the topic to a wider audience. While interest has waned somewhat by the turn of the century, today there seems to be an ever-growing number of people who believe that UFOs are real deal and that we're being visited by curious extraterrestrial entities who have traveled to our planet from a distant solar system. Whereas polls taken back in the 1990s indicated around 20% of U.S. believe that UFOs were alien visitors. Now over 34% believe that is the case. It's not just the general public who have expressed an interest in the subject. Either U.S. government officials, including former Department of Heads and members of Congress, also maintain that we are not alone. We've covered, what was it, last week, or was it the week before, one article, and one person, professor, somebody who cares, put out this whole article saying how belief in UFOs and conspiracy theories and the JFK assassination is dangerous. It's dangerous because society is falling apart. We don't trust our institutions or our media. Oh, dear God, no, why? People are waking up, let's hope.
They're losing us. Their house of cards is falling down, and they have to scramble.
I mean, I'm like, welcome to the party to the people that are new to this, Hey.
Yeah.
It's been going on a long time. It has never gone away. It's been here the whole time. I think it's also because our sightings up. More people are seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Are we going to get a hot UFO wave coming more? More stuff. China. They got theirs.
Yeah.
Super clear metallic disc-shaped UFO photographed over China. That's the next article. Surprisingly clear image was captured over the city of Zeman? Or Eximon? I don't know. Has been circulating on social media in recent days. That's pretty clear. There's a clear photo, Rob. While many photographers of UFOs tend to be distant, blurry, or otherwise indistinct, now again an image comes along that defies this trend due to its impressive and unusual level of clarity. Captured on a camera over the Chinese city of Eximon by a photographer known only as Syronym? I don't know. This remarkable image shows a smooth disc-shaped metallic object high up in the sky. The UFO is surprisingly clear and stands out well against the backdrop of a sun-illuminated clouds. This has got to be up from a plane in the sky, I would think. Maybe not. I don't know. Exactly whatever it is, however, remains a topic of debate. Could this be some sort of drone, balloon, or is it evidence of visitors from another world? Well, Providence would be great.
Or it could be their own reverse engineered or, their own craft. We have so many things ourselves that could pass as a UFO. China could too.
I saw recently somebody share, who was it on my timeline of friends was, share photos of these new balloon hovering lights. Like they're like, you can have them at a party and they like hover and they look kind of like this thing.
Really?
And they're big and they like hover and they're a light. It's like a big glowing light. You can have like But I don't know. This seems like this is way up there. This what that would be a lot lower. I don't know. But Providence would be great if we had more besides that. But I think we're getting a lot more UFO sightings is what I feel like. I don't know. My imagination, I don't know. It's hard to document. You'll get some reports saying, oh, UFO sightings are actually down. I don't know.
Well, I think they want us to think it's down because all of a sudden they're like trying to take back everything they had said. But more people, I think, might be looking for it now and paying attention to the skies because of,
Right.
you
Could
know,
be the same old as never
Yes,
changed,
and-
but now more people are noticing, or more people are actually just willing to talk about it.
yeah, paying attention and willing to talk. They don't feel so like such a stigma,
I mean, look at the Dogman theme from Heather's Call. You know, people are talking in whispers in the community, but nobody's coming out and calling the press or talking about Dogman because you don't want to seem crazy.
yeah. It's
Even
like
though you
just
saw
a
it,
verbal-
you saw it clear. You know, you were saying it doesn't matter. You don't want people to look at you that way. Nobody does.
It's like what locals say when you go out there to, investigate, and they're like, well, locals say, but they don't want to admit, and they won't say it out loud, but.
Well, we got more UFO stories after this. We'll come back. We're going to do another commercial break and come back for a little bit. I don't know. We might do a full show. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not getting any other phone calls. We'll see. We might go on for a little bit longer, but we're going to go to commercial break, come back. Phone lines will be down until we come back from commercial break, so wait to call in if you're going to call in until we come back. But we'll be back. We're going to take a short break. Again, you got a paranormal experience you want to share tonight, or you got a question or something you want to talk about in the paranormal realm, call in. Join the conversation tonight. Phone lines will be back open after this short commercial break.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Do you wish for more paranormal and spiritual content? The Paranormal Chronicles magazine is a free digital magazine crammed with the very best in paranormal and spiritual articles and features. No sign-up, no subscription, just free reading and knowledge for you. Read today at www.paranormalchronicles.com/magazine.
Join us every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time for Weird Wednesday, the live stream, with your hosts Jamie, the Living Dead Girl, and Rob, the Phantom, where we'll talk about all things paranormal, including zodiac, astrology, tarot card and oracle card readings, live ghost boxing and spirit communication, where we'll do Voices from Beyond, the Cold Case Files. So we hope you join us live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time. We hope to see you there. Bye-bye.
Paranation Magazine is a new paranormal magazine based out of Denver, Colorado. Our goal isn't just to give you the best paranormal content out there, but to promote paranormal unity. We're doing this by giving everyone an opportunity to tell their stories and to share their experiences. For more information, follow us on Facebook at Paranation Magazine and soon, paranationmag.com.
I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is the extraordinary travels of a young, alone, and broke psychic in the highly anticipated new book from internationally renowned psychic, medium, medical intuitive, and best-selling author Sherry Dillard. Critics have described I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like as an engrossing memoir, an empowering story of how a broken girl came to accept her psychic gift. A refreshing and fun read, I've Never Met a Dead Person I Didn't Like is available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Noble, and wherever books are sold.
Wrote Spirits of the Dead with a pen dipped in warm blood. You will see the ultimate in terror with this important all-star cast. Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda in Edgar Allan Poe's Spirits of the Dead. Only Poe's demented genius could bring to the screen such horror and evil. Spirits of the Dead stars Brigitte Bardot, Alain Delon, Jane Fonda, Terence Stamp, and Peter Fonda. Directed by three masters of the cinema, Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. Spirits of the Dead is an adventure in terror beyond your wildest nightmares. Spirits of the Dead in color is rated R.
Okay. So, does anybody want to play Parcheesi? Okay, who brought the dog?
You're listening to Paranormal Soup, bringing you the weird every Sunday night. Call into the show and join the discussion. The call-in lines are 219-230-4444 or 260-225-9419. Or by Skype caller ID oojblandoo or jblandparanormalsoup. Soup. And now to your host, Jason Bland.
Tonight is open lines night. That means you call in, join the conversation. The phone lines are now open for you to call in. Got a paranormal experience, Heather? Thank you so much tonight. Zariana, thank you for calling in. But Heather, man, what a great story and experience you had that's going on. Like, it's right now. Happening, weirdness, Skinwalker Ranch kind of stuff happening now where she's at. They said, what, Iowa? That's kind of stuff I want to hear. I mean, anything. You want to call in paranormal-wise, join this conversation. I don't know how much longer we're going to go tonight. Maybe a little bit longer. I got a basement to get back to shop vacuuming, sadly. But I want to enjoy talking to you guys. So join the conversation tonight, but let's go ahead and get back to the show. Okay, where were we on the weird stories? Oh, just lost Rob. Uh-oh. And is Jamie there? Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, there's Rob. All right. You back? You got sound? I don't hear you. Uh-oh. Well, Rob's trying to get his fix. You guys could call in. Anybody want to call in? Lines are open. 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419. Those are the phone numbers. Right now you are muted, it says. But when you weren't muted, I wasn't hearing like any kind of noise coming from you. All right, he's going to get that up, work on his audio, hopefully. I don't know about this next one. Let's see. Researcher captures UFO selfie in Brazil. I don't know about this one. Researcher captures UFO selfie during Brazil encounter. News outlets says we picked up on the case of Eddie Meyerless. How do you say his last name? UFO researcher and author of a 2011 claimed photograph of a spherical object in the sky over Brazil. The image was later posted up by Meyerless on social media. It was snapped on a hiking trail on the way to a remote waterfall in the Chapada Diamanita National Park. I'd probably butcher that. In one image, the object, which appears to be dark in color but with several lights around its lower half, can be seen over Meyerless' shoulder, while in another it can be seen on its own in the sky. I mean, he has a surprised look on that. Is it a staged surprised look? I don't know. It looks like the something out of E.T. But I mean, there's a ton of UFO researchers who would love to have that kind of photo bomb. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. He's also got some Reddit posts on UFO encounters. I got out of the car and photographed, he wrote. It was an incredible, wonderful motion to have photographed a UFO so clearly visible. About 40 minutes later, still on the road with my car turned off, I barked. I tried to turn the key, and nothing, absolutely nothing. I saw a light on the hood, and I looked up, and there was a UFO standing on top of my car. I opened the door, and I ran. I even stopped to take a selfie with him. So that's him running like, hey, look at that picture. I mean, would you take a selfie? Oh, we lost Rob again. He's probably rebooting. What's the next one? Oh, the next one's hilarious. Hopefully Rob can get on. Yeah, UFOs, ancient Vimanas. Yeah, people have been seeing UFOs for a long time. I always say, I'm an Ancient Aliens guy. Before there was Ancient Aliens TV show. Let's see. I don't know why things weird go like that. I don't know if I can get mine working.
I wonder if his like audio thing. There he goes.
All right.
Was it your audios?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, we're not getting audio still. Damn it. Now you're muted.
Oh, he didn't have audio before?
Yeah, he was talking before tonight. His son.
I mean, well, I was like late coming back because I did chase animals around again.
Well, yeah, when he came back from commercial break, he dropped out, came back, and no audio. So that's what he's been trying to do. Let me get my present up while he's trying to figure that out. I'll get mine. Share screen. Tire, yes. Tire screen, there we go. Let me get this up. Rob's trying to figure that out. Where am I at? Oh, yeah, mine's a video. I'll have to turn up. We might get echo on this one. That's why it would have been great if Rob was doing it. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta hide this thing here. Hold on. All right. So, Mexican tire shop owner filming UFO turned sighting into a prop to store ad. Odd video of Mexico shows a moment when a quick-thinking shop owner used the appearance of a UFO in the sky to promote his store. According to a local media report, the peculiar sighting occurred last week in the city of Guadalajara. I did get that wrong. When multiple witnesses spotted the mysterious saucer-shaped object overhead, as seen in the footage above, several individuals began filming the strange craft with their cell phones. Though one observer saw the event as a rather unique advertising opportunity. Here you go. If you know Spanish, you'll get it. Is it going to unmute? Unmute, so you can hear. Unmute. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, maybe. He plugs his. There's a UFO, and then he goes, and you can come down here and buy some tires. Good prices.
Pause a second.
Yeah.
Rob has to restart.
Okay. That's what I wondered.
Yeah, he's coming back.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. I'm actually almost done with. I think that I only have one more article. I actually got through them tonight. And the last one I saw, was it Jennifer Malik or someone of my friends posted, did you have this on your 2024 list that we'd get a second moon? Earth will get a second mini moon for 2 months this year.
Like 50-something days.
Yeah, Earth will get a second moon for about 2 months this year when a small asteroid begins to orbit around our planet. The asteroid was discovered in August, is set to become a mini moon revolving around the Earth in the horseshoe-shaped form from September 29th to November 25th. Researchers at the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact at Last Alert Systems, an asteroid monitoring system funded by NASA, spotted the asteroid using an instrument in southern and South Africa labeled 2024 PT5. Scientists from the Universidad, some university. The asteroid's orbits for 21 days and has determined its future path is from Arjuno asteroid belt, which orbits the sun according to their study. So it's going to be in a horseshoe shape going around. Again, like I said, early in the show, I think we really need to be getting better at spotting these things. Obviously they are. But that's it. I don't have actually, Rob. I realize we're on the last article. We actually made it through. Any callers? We're going to be going soon. Anybody want to call in? Any weird stories? I'm not expecting you to live up to Heather's great call. First call of the night was great. Is anything? Have you seen a ghost? A UFO? There's Rob.
Yeah.
We got audio now?
Yeah.
Drake is on a
There we go.
Yay, Rob.
Jeez.
Yeah. So the other night we did go up. We'd hit over 3,000 subscribers thanks to Paranormal Roundtable and Josh Turner plugging the show there the other night. Thank you, Josh. He also donated $100 last Sunday. You can donate, by the way, shameless plug on that, on Super Chat for the show. It does help pay the bills for the show. And Patreon, you can look us up under Paranormal Soup, Jason Bland, $1 a month, $2 a month. Whatever you're willing to give helps pay the bills for the show. I don't make any money doing the show. All the money usually goes to the fees. So you can do that. We got another caller. Let's make sure I get this caller. Who do we got on the line?
Hello.
Hello. Who do we got?
This is Summerside.
Oh, hey, Summerside. Hey. You donated last week, too, didn't you?
You betcha.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
I got a story for you.
Yes.
Okay, well, so I got a story for you. I'm going to be a little bit nervous because I'm going to have flashbacks.
I got it. That's totally understandable.
Okay. So in 1989, I got a phone call from a guy, and he said, hey, can you help us out with something? And I was like, sure. I said, but the only problem is I worked all day, so I might be a little bit tired. But he goes, well, it's going to be a 12-hour shift. And I was like, oh, great.
That's not good.
So I said, yeah, so I said, okay, so where's it going to be? And he said, it's going to be at the museum. And I was like, museum? I said, you guys are alarmed. And he goes, no, we're having alarm problems. So I said, okay, yeah, I'll help you out. So I show up at the place, and surprise, surprise, the guy that I used to go to school with, it's his older brother. So he sees me and he says, hey, man, I had no idea it would be you showing up. And I said, I don't even know how I got this shift, but I said, I'll take it. So he's telling me about some of the stuff that they're having problems with. And I was like, okay. And so the situation turned out that I said to him, I go, well, I'm really having problems understanding how come your alarm doesn't work. He goes, well, our alarm keeps failing, and we get green lights all over the place here. He says, so we're not really sure what's causing it.
Right.
He said, but what we want to do is we want to get the facility secured. So I'm like, okay. So we go through the whole thing again. And while we're doing this, this is in October, and it's getting towards Halloween. And I'm noticing that the staff, there's 3 females there, they're working quickly. And I was like, what's the hurry? And he says, well, they want to get out of here. They don't want to be here.
Can I ask what kind of museum it was? Sorry to interrupt you.
It was really a museum that holds all old artifacts, stuff like that.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like one is that had a really old glass horse-drawn what carried coffins.
Oh wow!
That's the one that I had. That's the one I had problems with. Okay. It was moving around in the midnight. It weighs like 300 pounds.
Oh my! Yeah.
This thing was. I could hear it moving. Yeah, I could hear it moving, and I was like, okay. But my worst part was that, and I'd never known what I encountered until I was actually listening to Josh Turner talk about something, and they were talking about this guy that has sharp teeth. And I was like, oh man, that kind of reminds me of the guy that came to the door. So what ended up happening was I had this alarm go off, and it said it's at the back door. So I have to walk through the whole facility, and they shut the lights off. So I only have a couple of night lights on. And I'm walking through the facility, and I'm thinking to myself, this is really bizarre. I shouldn't be getting an alarm in the back. So I get there, and I find a 4x4 stuck in the back door. Ooh. And I'm like, okay, I got a suspect in the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know right away. I got problems here. So I'm probably gonna have to call city police and ask for a K9 unit.
Yeah.
So I take the 4x4 out. I toss it to the side, and I close the door, and then I start searching that area. I don't find anybody. So I head back. I clear the alarm, and 30 seconds later, same spot, alarm again. So I'm going, oh, now what? So I go back, and the 4x4 is back in the door again. So I'm like, okay, there is definitely somebody in here. They're messing with me.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, you know, there's actually supposed to be two of us working here. And I'm thinking that either this guy named Dave or a guy named Paul is in the building already, and they're messing with me. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I pick up the 4x4. I walk over. I see one of their trucks is parked inside the building. I take the 4x4. I open the driver's door. I take the keys out of the ignition. I put the 4x4 on the seat. I lock the doors. And I jokingly say, let's see you get that out of there. And I walk away. I clear the alarm again in the front. 10 minutes later, the alarm goes off again. I'm like, are you kidding? I walk back. Doors are locked. I have the keys. 4x4 stuck back in the door. I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, okay. And at the time, I didn't know. I didn't find out until 2007 when I was working in the hospital. I kept getting sick all the time. I actually ended up talking to someone. They said, the reason you get sick like this all the time and have pains is actually you're an empath. And I said, oh, so I had to learn that. So what ends up happening is I take the 4x4 out, and I have handcuffs. So I close the panic bar on the door, and I take my handcuff and I handcuff it to the door and to the little latch on the side. And I had special handcuffs, special keys to open it. So I know right away that door is not going to open. They're going to have to have my keys.
Right.
So I get to the back, I clear it. 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, I get an alarm, this time in the kitchen. So I'm going, okay. And then I'd ask the guy, would it be okay if I pulled my car up to the front and plugged it in? Because I'm going to be sitting there for 12 hours. He goes, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, I got to go get the car. So I go to the kitchen, and I look around. I don't see anything. And I leave. I go back to the panel. I clear it. Once I clear it, I thought I should have something to eat. And I had a big thermos of coffee. And this, like I said, I'm getting nervous because I'm having flashbacks.
It's all right.
But
it's all right. I understand.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is I'm sitting there having a cup of coffee, and I see this guy come up to the door where my car should be sitting, but it's not. And I look at the guy, and he looks at me, and he doesn't say anything, and he starts knocking on the window. So I got two sets of doors between us. I go through the first set. I ask him, what do you want? He goes, can you open the door? And I go, no. He goes, yeah, open the door. He says, I need to use the phone. And I go, what for? He goes, my car broke down. And I look at him and I go, what do you mean your car broke down? He goes, it quit. He goes, just open the door. And the way he said it just made me really, like, spidey senses went off. And I was like, buddy, I'm not opening this door. And he just kept knocking. And then that's when I noticed, like, the wind is swirling really bad. Here in Saskatchewan, we get bad windstorms, snow, that. And then that's when I realized I can't see his feet. I can't see his legs. I can see the top of him, and the glass door has a panel between it, like, normal doors, fire doors. Yeah. So I can't see the bottom glass pane. I can't see his legs or feet, but I can only see the upper part of him. And that's when he looks at me. He grins. That's when I see the teeth. And that's when I realize, and my brain, for whatever reason, my brain said, boy, this guy needs to see a dentist.
Really?
And he's standing there laughing at me. So at that time, we were allowed to have, besides flashlights, we were allowed to have nightsticks. And we did do armed guard, too, but that night I didn't have a gun with me.
Oh, no.
And so I turn around, I go back, and I pull my nightstick out, and I turn around, and I see him boot. And and then I don't see the top of him. Like, the top I see, but I don't see the bottom part of him. He boots around the corner, and the first thing I thought was, oh, no, he's going for my car.
Right.
And the guy who gave me the keys, he said, you have a key to the front door only, and you have another key to open the panel box for the alarm system if you need it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, oh, and I wanted to phone my brother and say to him, hey, I might need some help here. But we changed cars, so I actually had his car. He had my car, and he was up in Prince Albert doing a job up there at the PA-10, and that's a long
You're all
story.
alone. That's the gist of it. You're all alone in this building.
Yeah.
And you just saw this guy, you can't see his legs, and you see him, he laughed at you? Like, he did like kind of a menacing laugh, and you saw his teeth?
Yeah. He smiled. His teeth were all sharp. Top and bottom were all sharp. So I didn't know what I was looking at until I happened to stumble across Josh Turner, and he was talking about it in one of his hour-long podcasts, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I ran into. That it came to the building. Here's the weird part. This is the part this is why I'm having trouble, because the place I work at now is less than 2 blocks away from that building. And so I went out and I got to the car, pulled the car up in the front, plugged it in, came back in the building, sat down. All night I just felt sick. I couldn't eat. I basically just sat there, and I'd go up and I'd do the quick patrol, go through the building and come back and write in my report what I did. In the morning, the guy shows up that was there that night, that the maintenance guy that was there that night. He shows up 7:30 in the morning. He was supposed to be there at 7. He said, yeah, sorry, I slept in. And he sees my report and he says, he goes, what guy came to the door? And I was explaining it to him, and he goes, there should be no one coming to the door. And he goes, it's really weird. And I said, okay. And so I explained to him, all right, I'm going to just book out and I'm going to leave. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I appreciate it. He goes, we might have to call you tonight. I turned to him and I said, you know what? I'm not a coward, but
no thanks.
I said, I'll do it. I said, I'll do the shift, but you guys have to guarantee that guy ain't coming to the door. And they're like, well,
I would be like, I'm going to be armed this time. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, well, I called my boss and I said, is there any way we can ask for a second guard in there? And,
that too.
And she's like, well, she goes, you know what happened to the first guard, eh? And I said, no. And she told me, she said the first guard, something happened. He ran out and got in his car and drove 3 blocks away, phoned the city police, and informed them that he was having problems with somebody in the building. So I was like, okay. So my boss is telling me, well, she goes, you know the golf course next door? And I go, yeah. She goes, that building? And I go, yeah, it's got a broken window up at the top second story of it. And she goes, well, that's where the night maintenance guy was murdered. And I was like, are you kidding me? I said, I've lived here all my life. I've never known this. And she goes, yeah, it's really bad. So Sunday night, I go back there, and this time I took a radio with me, and I just played opera music all night long. I had it blaring enough that I could see the panel. I automatically went back to lock the door with my handcuffs again. The whole night was okay, no issues. However, here's where my problem comes in. 3 weeks ago, on September the 4th, was a Wednesday night. The place I'm at now, I do security for them. I go out, and it's 126 acres. It's a huge facility.
Oh, wow.
And so I get in our patrol vehicle, and I'm out and I'm checking gates. I've got lots of stuff to check. There's massive areas. There's some areas that are just completely black. You can look up and see the night sky, no problem. There's lots of trees, everything like that. So I'm checking all along our west gate and that, and I go into an area called the Horseman's Camp, and I see lots of homeless people back there, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not them, but how it is.
Yeah.
So I go back towards another area, and we've got one building that's outside the facility. I won't name it. but I go to check it, and it's still operational. And while they're still in the building doing stuff, I happen to notice a vehicle over by our pumping station, which is like a block and a half away from us, from where I am. So I radio in and I let operations know what's going on. And I just said, I spotted a vehicle. So I head over to that area. I roll up on it, and I always record what the conversations I'm about to have with the people, just for legal reasons. I roll up on the vehicle, and it's 3 females, and they're like in their 20s. Oh boy, this is the problem part.
Sorry.
So I said to her, what's up? And she goes, oh, not much. She goes, we got a spirit box here, and we're just going around here having, listening to the voices and stuff like that. And I said, okay. And then she goes, do you know about that building there? And I said, yeah, I worked there a couple nights. So you don't want to go near that place. I said, that place is haunted. And she goes, well, we've been getting strange voices coming out of there. She goes, that's why we moved over to this area. I said, well, technically you're on private property. I said, but I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going to give you a hard time. She goes, well, is it possible? She goes, there's really old buildings right there. And I said, that's inside our fence line. Right. You need written permission from our manager to come in. I said, I got a supervisor, and I can tell you right now, he's going to say no. I said, but there is a graveyard on the other side of the facility that's was there from the 1800s. And she's like, where? So I told her where it was, and they said, yeah, okay, well, maybe we'll head down there. And the girl in the back seat's talking, and she said, well, what kind of experiences did you have there? And I said to her, I go, well, nothing I want to talk to about. As I said, I'll probably have flashbacks. So the girl in the other seat, I said to them, you guys know what you're doing is kind of dangerous, right? So you need to have some sort of protection like holy water, crucifixes, and you got to know enough to tell these things not to follow you home. And they're like, yeah, we're trying to follow what it says. The girl in the back seat's got the volume cranked up on this spirit box, and that's when I just stopped talking to her. I stopped videotaping, and I just told them, okay, thank you, have a good day, and I left. The problem is that 1989, I remember that voice, and 3 weeks ago, I heard that voice again over that spirit box, and I was like, I was like, oh no. So whatever this thing is, I'm thinking it's some sort of a demon is lingering around that spot. So the good part was,
right.
My boss, I wrote in a report, contact with 3 females in this one area with a spirit box situation, and she said, you know what? Don't bother patrolling that area anymore. We'll just get the city police to go in there from now on. And so now it's assigned to the city police, and I got it. I'm like, oh yes, thank you. I don't have to go there no more.
Right.
But if it wasn't for those 3 girls showing up and doing that, and me and her having that volume up and me being able to hear it and hear that voice again, I would have not known that thing is still around there. I wouldn't have picked up on it because I don't go in that area. I stay away from that one part of that building because it's not actually owned by the people I work for. It's actually owned by another company. So we don't actually go over there to help them out unless they were.
Well, you know what?
Absolutely have to.
I don't know what your story's done, but my tablet that I use my audio through has suddenly drained down to 74%, even though it should be at 100. And that beeping sound you hear is the compressor battery and that it going out, and that's literally going to end all my audio for the show.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, yeah. So just so you know, just so you know, whatever this thing is, it is very powerful, and I got a lot of respect for it because I realize what it can do now. So I'll leave it at that, and I appreciate you listening to me.
Thank you. And I think you just ended the show because whatever you're telling us, I watched all my battery levels just drop on 2 different devices. The battery's going out on this, and the battery's going out on my tablet.
yeah, the problem is that my cell phone had 50%. I'm at 20 now all of a sudden. Yeah. So this is something we shouldn't be playing with, I guess.
I'm thinking so.
Yeah. But at least thank you for listening to me, and I'll drop you a little donation for your basement there.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you, Sunnyside of Life,
Okay.
for calling in and sharing. Like you and Heather and Azuriana, you guys called in tonight, made the show. I'm running out of audio. I'm gonna get really quiet here soon because it's gonna run out. So I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna have to end the show because literally drained all my batteries.
Thank you.
Wow.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, you hear that? That's the battery going out on that. And I just changed that not long ago. And my tablet, I'm going to have to change the cords out for charging or whatever. It's plugged in, charged, should be charging, should stay at 100%. I looked at it, it's at 74%. How? So that's it for the show, guys. I think I'm going to have to end it there because I literally going to have to run up and like grab stuff and figure out where, like new batteries and a new cable for this because I'm running out of juice. I was going to end the show early anyways, so we'll end it there on that great call from Sunnyside of Life. Thank you so much. I think we got some weirdness out of that for sure. Wow, I'm just flabbergasted right now. I'm really flabbergasted. I should go because you're going to hear me get quieter and quieter as this thing drains my battery, whatever it is. So yeah, go to sleep with that tonight, kiddos. My hair is like standing up. I'm kind of afraid to go to bed. That was a scary story. And check out Paranormal Roundtable. Josh Turner, thank you for promoting the show recently. And he was talking about werewolves, vampires, but more about like bloodlines. And I have a feeling that some of these things are demon manifestations through people. And some of them are just walking around with no legs coming to your door. Thank you, Sunnyside of Life, for that $20 donation and excellent phone call. Heather, thank you tonight. Azuriana, thank you tonight. Thank you to everybody who shares out the show. Keep telling your friends about Paranormal Soup, where the weird happens live every Sunday night, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Pacific time. End of the show here because I'm going to run out of audio. Everybody have a great night. See you next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be, guess Mike Ricksucker is returning. Can't wait to have him on. All right, guys, see you next Sunday. Have a great night.